Okay, well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the late one. As you can see, we are living in different times, and you've got to wrap up very closely. And as you can see, without a doubt, I make sure I put on my mask. So there's a new strain which is going around, so you got to be careful. There's an intelligent virus which is going around, so you got to be careful. But hey, what can I say? Here we are. I'm in a secure environment. So I can actually breathe a bit freely. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the late one with yourself, Sylbourne, with myself, Sylbourne Sidiel. Today is the 23rd of the 12th, one day, coming on before Christmas Day. So what can I say? I mean, my question is this. Are you looking for Christmas, looking towards Christmas? And this is just not a show which is only speaking about persons in the UK now, but generally speaking, the whole world is going through a period of something has changed, and we all know what has changed. It's a result of this virus. It's a result of this COVID. It's a result of this pandemic or plandemic or scandamic or whatever demic it is, as I set out in my opening. Now, that is not setting the stage to say that I'm some conspiracy theorist. That is not setting the stage that I'm going to come up with some crazy Looney Tune zombie thing or whatever like that. But we've got to look at all different facets. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about tonight, for a brief time, and while I'm just sharing, please, if you don't mind, I appreciate if you share this video as well, wherever you are, wherever you come from. Do share this video. But I love to know how you have been going through COVID, wherever in the world you are, especially in the UK. How have you been going through COVID? What are some of the tips that you will share with someone or share with people in going through COVID and going through this thing at this time? I say why it is important, because many people have different ways how they are dealing with it. I have my ways how I'm dealing with it, and I share some of the ways that I am dealing with it. You may not like it or whatever like that. It may not be what resonates with you, but I'll share it. And I like to hear what you are doing in a way to deal with this pandemic, right? Because as time goes by, we are actually recognizing that there are different streams, different arms to COVID. Doreen Phipps, how are you doing? Well, I know, Doreen, I know how you helped me to deal with it. I used to get my cake. I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, when the whole thing started, I used to cope with COVID by having cakes. I used to eat cake every 2 weeks. I went to the doctor, and the doctor said, mash up that Dolly All-Star. No more cakes, because we are seeing some sweetness in your blood. And I said, okay, right. So that has been gone. So I've cut off the cake in a certain extent. But I'd just like to know how you have been going through this whole thing. Tracy Humphreys, good evening. How have you been going through this, Tracy? You are in the States, of course, and it's a different sort of thing. I don't know if the strain is reaching there. I don't know if this terrorist have jumped the fence. They say he's going all over the place. The vaccine is there. They said the vaccine is the way forward, the way how we're going to get through this, right? How have you been going through it? What are some of the key tips? I like to share. I just like you to say to me, what are some of the key tips that you will give, that you will share for other persons to actually take it on, okay? And the ball is rolling now. The ball is rolling. Let's go. The first one is prayer, okay? Right. Prayer. Prayer, they say, it's a slim, slender nerve that moves the hand of God. That's what a preacher once said. The slim, slender nerve that moves the hand of God. Prayer. And I just came back from church. I just came back from a choral service, for 1 hour, and that was wonderful. Keep that keep that strain in London. So that's one way Tracy wants to deal with it, by you guys keep that strain in London. Okay. So let's deal with this. The first one, as Chris said, prayer. What do you think about prayer? Right? God. I mean to say, now many people pray to different gods, really, to a certain extent. Prayer is a way where people somehow get some level of consolation, where they get some level of hope, where they get some level of affirmation in some respect to go through the next day, because no day is actually guaranteed for our lives. Whether it is pandemic, whether it is COVID or what, there's no guarantee for any days. You got persons in the past of recent days who have passed away, went to bed, hopefully they get up for the next day, and that did not happen. I'm here today and I could be gone tomorrow. That's the reality of life. How does prayer then can change things around at this time with COVID? Is that prayer will stop COVID, or is it prayer helps us to go through COVID? Because there's one thing about going through, which is so crucial. Going through. And this is one of the things that I believe is so crucial, because I'm not a mental health expert, but that's one of the things that many people talk about when it comes on to COVID. One of the key elements, they say COVID has not just attacked the body in a way, in regards it affects your health, but COVID have this impact that affect many things. Today they say COVID has hit the rugby. That is what they said on the news today. COVID has hit rugby, meaning to say the rugby world has been hit because some of the games have been cancelled. Lewis Hamilton recently was hit by COVID. Now, yes, it affected his health in the sense that he had to isolate and stay away, but it affected the Formula One. Didn't affect him really in the sense of his winning trait, but it has affected many things. COVID, by virtue of such, has affected the whole economy in a way. People are suffering in different ways. How do you go through? Yes, Tracy said, hope, peace, and affirmation. Hope, peace, and affirmation is one way. Laughter is another way. Yes, laughter is another way. Exercise, eating healthy, many different ways. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd love for you to share this video. What I'm going to do as well is to see if I can actually share it and to do it. Now, let's pick up back on the bit about laughter, because when one talks about laughter now and laughter, laughter, what is it? Laughter is laughter, isn't it? We talk about laughter. Is it wise to laugh at this time? Can people really laugh? It's like sometimes people are cautious about feeling good. People are cautious about sharing the fact that they're having a good time. People are cautious about sharing the fact that they have been having it good during this period of COVID. It is like there's a need for one to set a level of empathy, and that shows, and that is showing right through the time. I don't know. That's just something that I'm just thinking aloud. Because yes, you got people that I know who have been benefiting at this time as a result of COVID, benefiting in their business, while some at the same time have not been benefiting at all during COVID. It's a shutdown, it's a lockdown, and life is not really great. Okay, so that is something which is happening there. But before I go any further, though, let us see where we're at in London now. Right, tonight on the news they talked about London is in lockdown in tier 4, yeah. And tonight on the news they said millions more to enter tier 4. Millions more people in the east and the southeast of England are to enter tier 4 on Boxing Day. Right? Health Secretary has announced the place is moving into highest level of restriction, which include stay-at-home order, borders, the area already in tier 4. Number of areas in England will also have to move into tier 3 and 2. Matt Hancock said the old tiering system was not enough to control the new variant of the virus. You can find out more, right? The rules are there. There's another new COVID variant found in the UK. But then somebody said, well, this is just like flu. Every year they keep updating because the flu come with all these different strains. It emerged that 2 cases of another more transmissible variant of coronavirus have been detected in the UK. Speaking at Downing Street, the press conference, the health secretary said that both people had traveled to South Africa, where the variant had been linked to surges in cases. The government has imposed travel restrictions on the country. Anyone who has been there in the past fortnight in South Africa and anyone that been in contact with anyone who has been in South Africa has been told to quarantine immediately. Okay? So there's a new strain, there's a new virus which is out there, right? A part of the body. They said it is not something which will impact you differently. It's not like it's more dangerous, but what they said, it infects quickly, right? What is happening also? Something else. One would think that it is the fallout of Brexit, because Dover now, Kent, where all these trucks go towards France and so to get new stocks and whatever, import and export, that has been shut down. Difficult days for the trucks drivers who have been stuck in Kent after France closed its border with the UK following concern over a variant of the COVID detected in southern England. First, trucks have started to leave the temporary lorry park. Baby girl becomes Scotland's youngest death. A child under the age of 1 has died with COVID-19 in Scotland, they're saying. Official figures show. Death of the baby girl is the youngest COVID death in Scotland. What they're saying with this new strain, they find that children, it affects more. Not that it is dangerous for them, but that they are carriers, right? That mentioned that even if the person have not been tested for the virus, the baby's death was registered between 14 and 20 December, along with 2 others that week, right? So, I think we're onto something, and I don't know, but the key thing is that, as I was saying at the start of the show, how do you go through this pandemic? Well, one of the things that I'll say is while you read and you do the research, you got to be careful what you put in your system. Yeah, you got to be careful what you put in your system. You got to be careful what you are listening, and there are a lot of secret messages which come through from persons. People are sending these messages saying, watch this before it is taken down. People are sending all these things. This is real, and sometimes things have not been verified, right? I heard recently of a nurse, apparently, or someone who recent days was shown on video, and they showed that she fainted or so after she took the vaccine. And then lo and behold, after that, people are saying that she died. Now, one cannot verify that. I'm not saying that it happened or not. I'm not saying it didn't happen or not, but you got to be careful about what is going inside of you, right? At this time, be careful of what is going inside of you. That's one of my tips. Be careful of what is going inside of you. It is, right? As I set out in my... Fortunately, yeah. Be careful of what is going inside, right? Because what goes in also affects what comes out. And mentally, a lot of people have been affected because there's this thing which is called fear. Fear. A lot of people fear things at this time. There's a fear which is going out there. I mean, a couple of nights ago, I was driving in London, and you could sense this airiness. The supermarkets, which were normally would be busy, empty, airy like. It wasn't like the first time where lots of people were actually dashing for the supermarket, and lots of people were actually trying to get as much toilet papers or not. I'm still trying to find out what is that case regarding the toilet paper. That is still a mystery. But there's airiness. Went to the petrol station again, same difference. Airiness which is going on out there, where even the attendant was saying there's something strange. Is that fair, or is that everybody has been shopping already? Be careful what you put in your system. Be careful the things that you're reading. Be careful of the information that people are giving you, because some of them are not substantiated. And lo and behold, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not saying that what is out there is wrong. I'm not saying that because I cannot prove or substantiate things. I'm not into any fact checkers issue. But all I'm trying to say is be careful what you are getting to, because it will mess up your psyche and people go crazy. That's why people are now saying, I'm coming off Facebook. I'm giving it a break, and just clear my mind, clear my head, or so like that. I don't know what you think about that. Let me read some of the comments. Eating healthy. We don't want to go into fourth tier in my area, Northampton. I believe that you have jumped it. You have jumped it. I think they've gone a bit up. Miss Forster. I think based on the news today, that has gone up in some respect. I don't know. A lot of places are jumping that in some level, and someone sent me a picture. I don't know if it was true that police, the soldiers are manning from a tier 3 to a tier 4, whatever, to make sure that people are not moving from different places to different places. I don't know, right? So be careful what is going in. That's what's one of my tips. Be careful what is going inside of you. People probably has been stocking up. Yeah, I think people has been stocking up. I mean, when I heard, to be honest with you, when I heard that there was going to be this lockdown in the night, I said to my wife, is there anything else to go and pick up, really? And yes, I popped down just to pick up a few things, and that's why I said the supermarket was a bit empty at that point of time. So people have been stocking up in that respect. The people have started panic buying already. People have started, okay, panic buying already. You know, you know. Think about the bit about panic buying now is this, and people are now are questioning what the government is actually saying. I think the government recently said that don't panic or whatever like that. But then when people are seeing all those trucks down in Dover, and I was on a court hearing today. I was speaking to one of my colleague, and before the hearing, and she said outside you can hear all those noises. The trucks are out there, so trucks are not able to go through and to come back with goods. Now the big supermarkets before initially were saying that everything is okay, but yet at the same time they express a level of reservation that things might get slow if things are not flowing very well. France is trying to protect themselves. Germany is trying to protect themselves. Everybody is locking out the UK. So the UK is now in this position. This is where I see the UK now. The UK is the test zone. Can I say that? The UK is now deemed to be the country which was supposed to be having the vaccine to get things going, and we're great. Yeah, Oxford, Pfizer, UK is going for it. Then all of a sudden, this strain came in now. So people are saying, let's watch what's happening in the UK. Germany is saying they're waiting for some approval or whatever. Like, so people are saying, watch what is happening in the UK. And then at the same time, this strain is coming now. People are saying, hey, what is happening in the UK? Let's watch that strain. Watch it. You know what I say? Control the virus. Ooh, zoom. Watch it. It's an intelligent virus. So if that's the case, Jamaica is watching the UK, right? The world is watching the UK to see what is happening. And sometimes, lo and behold, one is actually think about these movies. One thing about I'm Legend. I don't know if you guys have watched I'm Legend with Will Smith. It started off similar to a certain extent. If I use that analogy, I'm not being a scaremonger or anything like that, but you know the show. At the start of the show, they tested his wife, and his wife was seeming to be positive, and he said, test her again. And then he was going to stay back. And the kids went up and the plane blew up or whatever like that. Nothing to do with the virus still. But and then what they did, they shut down the city. They destroyed bridges. So therefore, nobody gets in, nobody goes out. So therefore, that was quarantine. So therefore, the UK is now, or London is now quarantined in a certain way. Different areas now being quarantined in certain ways. And then all of a sudden, the UK is now being quarantined, which is an island. Nobody goes in, nobody goes out because there's this strain. There's this virus. And then what is happening now? You're a situation where the world is watching. And then in the movie with Will Smith, when they become zombies, then he got the virus through the vaccine through doing the test and all those sort of things till the day he found the vaccine. And even when the lady and the child took the vaccine to the place where they were isolating and in this safe zone, they still had to test them before they go in. You look at movies sometimes, you wonder, isn't this even a movie contagious? You look at these things and you wonder, where are these things coming from? Where did they get the vision for these movies? So how do you go through that when you see all of these things happening? How do you keep your mind sane? How do you keep your mind safe? How do you keep focus? Well, Don Joe said, keep. I guess this is one of his. Keep the show going, my brother. So I guess maybe that's one of the ways, keep the show going. Well, Don Joe, think about that. I said we weren't going to do any more shows for the year, which was the in review with my guests, Kima Keisha and Dr. Dr. Burton. But I thought to myself that at this time one cannot afford to pull back, because people are looking for, everybody's at a different space. We can agree with that. Everybody's at a different disposition. There's a term in law or maxim in law, take your victim as you find them. So everybody's at a different stage. And one word from someone, you out there, Tracy out there, Lorna out there, can really be the key word that changed someone's life at this time, at this junction. You got people who are at a position where they cannot confirm where they'll get their next job. You have people, businesses who have shut down. You got people who have mortgages to pay still, even though the mortgage companies are sort of cooling back, but still it has to be paid. A phone bill, all of those other things, car bills, cars. So people are now actually looking back. I understand in Jamaica, one of the things which is happening with some of the shutdown, some of the buses, the Juta buses or so, because they have to pay back for those buses. They're hiding the buses and they're selling different things in the buses, yam and banana and all those other things. So people are going through different things. And when a man sometimes is not able to exercise his full responsibility in providing for his family, providing for his wife, providing for his children, and the state is not in a position to even do that. In America, they're talking about a £600 relief. President Trump is saying £2,000 because, hey, can that work? None of those really would work, because a man needs to be able to live. No wonder that guy in Jamaica one time, and he said this, he said, COVID, isolating or quarantine is for rich people. Either COVID kill me or I'm dead of hunger, or I die of hunger. COVID kill me or I die of hunger. And that's the struggle, right? And that's why when I started the show today, I was like this. This is how I was. You guys may have missed it. I started like this. This is how I started the show. That's how things are. Jim Screechy. I was teasing somebody the other day and said, I'm a part of the resistance. Mean to say, I'm hiding away from the vaccine. Part of the resistance, whereby I'm not going to jump into that. I sometimes see these foxes got a lot of foxes in my back garden, and I say, I knew the foxes were there for a reason. I knew why they were there. Now I know why, because they dig some deep trenches and they dig some deep holes there. So what they're actually doing, they're preparing the underground. I know it's crazy. I'm just joking. There's some deep holes there that they have done, but it could have been, something there. But let me hear what Tracy said. Yeah, there's always some truth in these movies. Yes, there's always some truth in these movies. And there's a movie which is called The Purge. When you look at The Purge, you sometimes wonder if the purge doesn't take place whereby you got the powers that be that says, for argument's sake, in some communities, let's say Chicago, the way to get rid of bad elements, the way to get rid of certain people, let them kill themselves. I don't know. I'm just thinking loud. Let them kill themselves. At least it reduces it. So therefore, if they go and they see this murder, black and black killing each other, they say, okay, what you've seen right there is 10 persons have gone, 10 less worries. Is that a fair assessment, ladies and gentlemen? Am I overthinking it? Is that a fair assessment? Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but we've got to think. And as what Tracy said, there's always some truth in these movies. There's always some truth in some of these things. Hi, on Instagram, nice seeing you guys. On YouTube as well, please share this video. Let's just go at this full on. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to go on with these shows as much as possible. I've been doing it from 2015, and even when COVID came, what I did, I just pull away from the sofa, the red chair. As a matter of fact, I'm going to talk about the red chair as well, let's call it the people's coming on the red chair still. I've got Jenny from Jamaica. She's coming on Sunday. Anybody know Jenny? She's coming on Sunday. I've got this comedian guy from the States. He's funny. He's funny. I'm going to get him on the show just to put some life into it as much as possible. And it's going to be very interesting. Let me hear what Don Joseph. Very enlightening show you have to be the journalist, take no sides, attack no one, enable everyone to think independently. Thank you so much for that. I do appreciate that. And that's a good thinking. I do try to listen to all sides, and especially when I'm in the chair like this now. People know my views. I've got many views, very controversial views, many different political alliances that people find it terrible. People hate my guts sometimes for some of my views, but I still have this ability, which I believe by God, to accept different views from different persons and to give them a seat at the table. Thank you much for that, Donjo. And Lorna Foster, what you're saying here, most of us are desperate for information that will reassure them mentally at this time of the pandemic. Most of us are desperate for information. What would you call this information, ladies and gentlemen? You're all on the red chair. You all guess. Wherever you are, let me hear you. Please share this video. Just press share. What would you say is something or the information, as Ms. Foster said, that will reassure you, them, mentally? What have you seen that you have done that can reassure someone mentally? Because tell you honest truth, and this is honest truth, people are feeling it. I was asked by The Voice newspaper to give a quote today. The Voice is a newspaper belonging to the Gleaner in Jamaica. Asked me to give a quote about, at this time, Jamaicans would normally go home. Jamaicans would normally want to be with their families. But at this time, they are prevented by no means to themselves. People want to spend money to go home. And at this time, there will be a lot of injection of cash, injection of money into Jamaica at this time based on visitors. As a result of this lockdown now, people are not able to travel, to go down. People are not able to see their families, not just for Jamaica, but in the UK here, people are planning to get out of London. I remember one year, I used to work in Birmingham. I work all over the place. I think I was working in Birmingham. It always happened. There's always that Christmas time when I'm traveling home, like my last day, the 23rd, 24th is always the last day because it's always busy. When you come on to the last days before Christmas in court proceedings with children matters, a lot of cases happen. Lots of parents start to make application. People want to see their children, and frivolous claims start to come out, and all of these things happen. And it's always got to be busy at this time. But once that evening is finished of the 23rd or the 24th, and you're driving back to London, and there's this beautiful song says, "Driving home at Christmas." Do you know that song? Da, 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 da. And I always remember that song all the while when I'm driving home at Christmas, coming home to see the family. Because I spend maybe 5-7 days out of London, 4 or 5 days. And it's always nice driving home for Christmas. A lot of people wanted to drive home for Christmas. That even when the Prime Minister announced that London was going to be in lockdown for tier 4, a lot of people dashed to the train station. They dashed to the train station to get out of London quick in order to try to get to their families before so they don't get locked down in London, right? And then the health secretary will say it was totally irresponsible. So what I said to the reporter from the Voice was that at this time, for Jamaicans or for those who are restrained or pushed back, are not able to travel, to look at this moment as a time where you preserve by pulling back, preserve life by pulling back, respect the signs of the professionals, save some money, and maybe that money of 5,000, 7,000, because for people traveling to Jamaica at this time, you're talking about £4,000, and I don't think you're talking about travel money. Things are so that 4,000, 5,000 pounds could do wonders. You could actually apportion that money whereby you keep it here and do something with it, or give a portion to the family out there as well. To see how things can build. So what I said was hold back to preserve, seize the moment, and see what you can do at the same time. So going further now, Lorna Foster said, Most of us are desperate for that information, yes. And Lorna said, I still can't believe not able to travel back to Jamaica next week due to that ban. So you came and you wanted to go back home. So, you know, what does that feel, Lorna? How does that feel? Do you blame the government? People sometimes blame boys. They blame the government. Oh, the government is crap. They do that. But do you blame the government? Can you blame the government for COVID? Or do you blame the Chinese government? Who do you blame for this? Is it that they should have done it earlier, said it earlier, give you some warning? But is this virus one that gives you warning? Is this virus one that will say to you, hey, I'm here, geezer. What you need to do now is move. Is the virus like the Northern Ireland terrorists at the time when they give you this coded warning? There's always a coded warning. I came in London 92, just at the end of this whole thing. And I remember one time I saw a parcel one time, and they said, if you see anything, call the police. So I called the police, and the guy was saying, go and look close. I said, you're crazy, man. This is London, right? I can't go closer to the back. Every time there was a terrorist thing with Northern Ireland, they give a coded warning to get people away. That's not this virus. It doesn't give a coded warning. It hits according to what the science says. That's why they say it's intelligent. It maneuvers. And when it thinks you're coming at him, it creates a new zone. What is that saying? Let's hear what Tracy says. I don't know that there's anything to reassure people. They're trying to use the vaccine for reassurance, but the majority of people are not confident in the vaccine. In fact, people are afraid. The only reassurance we have is in Christ Jesus. But that's my point of view. There's one day at a time process. Now, what Tracy said, ladies and gentlemen, and this is very crucial. The government says, and the health secretary said today, well, the light is at the end of the tunnel, is what he said. The light is at the end of the tunnel. And that light is the fact that we've got this vaccine. This vaccine is here. And this vaccine will make things go away. And then at the same time, when you hear that, you have another thing saying there's got a new strain. So they asked the people that create this vaccine, will this vaccine be okay for this new strain? They said it is likely, more than likely. But nobody knows. And then the thing about it is this, honestly, guys, you put in something in your hand. And when I see this putting people things in their hand, I really do think of these zombie movies sometimes. I really do think that like something will just, people are thinking that. You cannot stop. Listen, you cannot stop people from thinking so. I don't know. When I see persons take the vaccine, I say to myself, it's like you've signed away. I feel like you've signed away something. You've signed away the assurance that it is not just your bad eating, your old age, but that something else is inside of you that could wipe you out. And it seems like it is self-inflicted in a way. And the more we keep hearing about the vaccine as the way forward, the more you think about it as not the way forward. I don't know. That's me just thinking aloud. Very good point there, Tracy. And Jesus is Lord. I encourage people to learn how to invest in stocks right now. There's great opportunities in the market right now. Now, bingo. How many points have I said before? We said about prayer. We said about laughter. We talk about reassurance. Now, this is another one. Start to look at ways how you can make money. Start to look at ways how you can innovate, evaluate new things. I'm doing some things in the Forex. Let's just do there. Another guy called me about another one. Another virgin called me about another one. And I'm going to touch it. And I'm going to talk to Tracy as well. Tracy's my good friend. I want to talk to her about that. You got to start to think on different ways now. Because people, listen, guys, ladies and gentlemen, if you're sitting at home and you are still working, you're still making money, what you're doing, you're finding yourself also saving because you're not traveling a lot. You're not actually using the bus. You're not buying food out there. You're not buying, like me, when I go on the road, I stop at the petrol station and you have a coffee, a Costa in the morning going to court. I haven't bought a Costa except when I do the walk. I want to talk about walking later. But you got to now think about ways to create wealth and income. When there's a fallout, there's something that kicks in. Whenever there's a deficiency, there is an efficiency. Now, this is where I'm coming from a motivational level to say that there is always something else. Why you've got these guys from Amazon and all those guys making tons of money at this time? Okay, they got themselves into this pot where they saw and they had a vision and they're reaping the benefit of their vision, right? The big supermarkets are making a killing at this time. The small ones are not having it, really. So therefore, one has got to think strategically. So yes, I say stock market, endorsing those things. And Tracy, good point. We need to talk about that, definitely. Doreen Phipps, let me bring in, COVID is a plague that have hit the entire world and affects the whole nation of the world. I would add that one, Tracy, COVID, Doreen, of the world. COVID is a plague that have hit the entire world and affects the whole nation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Doreen Phipps is the lady that bakes my cake, and she makes some very fantastic cake. And I must say, that is an area where you can use as a coping mechanism. Yeah, at this time, a coping mechanism for COVID. I used to have that cake a lot, and I'm trying to say. So if you're in London, you want some cake, go to COVID. Go to Doreen. That is fantastic there. I sometimes think the apocalypse. Yes. You know, when one think about it, Tracy, when one think about it, guys, you look at it and you see those movies and you cannot afford not to think of these things. It's like an end game. You know the end game? Everything goes. So therefore, the best assurance that you can have is Christ in your heart. It's only that guarantee in real terms, isn't it? Is it the vaccine that will make it good? Is it? Think about that for a second. Is it? Right? And there we go further now. Let me continue now. Yes, I think the UK acted too late. Cannot blame the Jamaican government for the ban. They want to keep the island, they want to keep the island, its people are contracting the new strain. They'll only be blamed. Yeah, I agree with you. Jamaican government is just acting like any other government. I was disappointed, how that plane which went to Jamaica and lots of people were having a go at the stewardess, and so because they said they had to quarantine. It wasn't the stewardess or those persons who set down the rule. It was the government of Jamaica. And lots of Brits were really angry. But then somebody said to me, it's so strange how after they realized they were going to sandals in Ochuas in luxury, they were quiet after that. But I think the Jamaican government have to do what is right for the nation. And what Jamaica don't want now, Jamaica do not have all those sort of beds. Jamaica do not have all those sort of resources. Jamaica do not have all those sort of things in order to, in the event of a breakthrough, in a sort of breakout of any of these strains. Jamaica don't have it, so they have to cover themselves as much as possible. Tracy Humphreys said, I agree, Doreen, plague is right, definitely. And you're back again. Tracy, we got to talk. I got to call it tomorrow. I got to talk. 17 million are made every day in the USA. So much money is moving hand to hand right now. Get on this gravy train. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the ways to coping mechanism, as we mentioned before, prayer is one. We talk about laughter. We talk about eating right, eating healthy. Some key tips there, which is coming through. And you talk about the stock market, looking at alternative ways how you can create income at this time. And I'll make a recommendation for Doreen Phipps. Eat cake, eat nice cake. That is something. So make sure that you are doing that. Now, one of the things that I like to do, and this is passionate to me, when we started the lockdown some time ago, in April, in March, I did a show with Dr. David Burton and Coach Chris Brown, and we were looking at 21 ways how to change bad habits. To change bad habits in 21 days. If you do something consistently in 21 days, it becomes a habit. Yeah, 21 days, it becomes a habit. So I started to walk, right? I started to do these walking in the morning, right? And that has been so good. I don't know. I'm seeing a little glitch here. If anybody can hear me still, just say yes, you can hear me. And just say yes, 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 I can hear. I'm just seeing a little glitch on my system here. Um, yeah, you just had a fruitcake. Okay, fantastic. I started to do this walking in the mornings, ladies and gentlemen, and it is now a habit. If I take off the H, I get a bit. If I take off the B, I get no. If you take a bit, if you take off the H, you get a bit. If you take off the A, there's still bit, and if you take off the B, you still get it. It is now a habit for me to walk every single morning. Every single morning. Sometimes I don't make it. Get me wrong, but I just make up for it. And I tell you, it has been so good. It has been so good. Getting up in the morning. I'm sorry, I can't have a video to show you now. Get up every morning. And Saturdays and Sundays, I do an extensive walk. And I do lives. And every time I do lives, I'm inspired. I get motivational quotes. God give me some messages or so. And it is beautiful. But that is only when I start to walk. And the walking has actually helped me. I've now lost a stone. Right? And the doctor was saying that I need to lose some weight. When I did a test during the period of time, I was pre-diabetic. And my blood pressure was a bit dodgy as well. So I started to realize that I was already walking. And by doing the walking more now with the why, which is a bit more stronger, it has been helpful and a benefit to myself. And the beauty about the walking in the morning, and I tell you this, you listen to the birds, you look at the bushes, if you walk in a park, and you look how the bushes are unkept. Look how things overlap. But yet it looks overlap, but they're still in order. Does that make sense? They're in their godly order. We may look at it as chaos, but it is a perfect chaos in a way. And when you hear the birds singing in the morning, it gives you realize that this is where you come. That's why they said sometime I listened to a video the other day. I don't know where I saw it from. And the lady said, a mother's voice is connected to her son, right? Our mother's voice is connected to her child because that child came out of the mother and there was that 9 months of that interaction before. And that connection there is also with nature, I believe. Ashes, dust to dust. From the dust we came, to the dust we become. For the people in the place to be. My name is Sid, and when you listen to me, we are talking about the way how we go it through. We don't stop and we don't be a fool because Jesus Christ is the King of Kings. He's the Lord of all, and he will come back and will reign forever. But if we don't listen, then guess what? We will never know what it's going to become. That's a little rap for you guys. Free of course. You can put something in the offering bucket. You know? So therefore, yes, you guys can hear me clear. You can hear, yeah. So yes, so yeah, there we are. I can't seem to get up the different things, but I just wanted to say that, ladies and gentlemen, that's all really. And I'll be continuing doing the shows, and I'll get some fantastic guests, and I won't stop because of the pandemic or whatever like that. I'll keep doing the shows, keep coming on, get guests, whatever. Tracy, let's come on and talk about stock market one day. Let's do it. Let's go for it. Let's give people opportunities, something to zero their mind away from this thing. Because at the end of the day, worry doesn't make any benefit to yourself. Fear doesn't add any benefit to yourself, right? So you've got to kick fear away, kick doubt away, and start to hope. Who against hope believe? That's what the Bible says. Who against hope believe? Right? So therefore, those are my words of encouragement, of inspiration, and of hope. And I want to wish you a good night. But remember, this, let me, before I sign off, symbolic connection to nature is what I call it. Yes, my husband and I walk often. We pray, talk, discuss topics so good for your mind, spirit, and body. I'm trying to see if why I can't seem to get some of these things up there. Let me see if I can get it up there. I'm not seeming to get the comments there, but they are there. as much as possible. Tracy said, yes, my husband and I walk often. We pray, talk, discuss topic. It's so good for your mind, spirit, and body. That is true. Symbolic connection to nature is what I call it. Tracy, yes, let's go for it. I'll give the basics. Fantastic. I'll make sure. And I've got other guys as well. We're doing different stuff. So I'm going to flood it with all these different options as well. Morning walk does a lot for mind and body. A healthy mind is a health. And you know one of the funny thing about the morning walk? One of the funny thing about the morning walk is that when you do it and you come back in, you might feel a bit sticky, but you feel like ready for the world. Remember that song? Ready for the world. That group. Sorry, Ready for the World. You're just ready to go for it. And so those are my sort of tips for tonight. You know, prayer, as Tracy said, laughter, eat healthy, look for different income streams. And this is just a few that we're talking about. Income stream. Go for the stock market. People are making money. Why are those guys making money and you're not making money? I mean, think about that for a second. Walk. Okay, that's very important and important. So ladies and gentlemen, that was it, and I believe it's a fantastic show. I didn't plan to do a show tonight. I didn't plan, but I just came back from the carol service and I said, nah, I'm not going to get into this depressed zone or whatever like that. Just do the show and just have a good time. I've got some fantastic guests lining up, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe. Black Health Matters Morning Walk. Amen. That's fantastic. And that is Jenny coming on this Sunday night at 9 p.m. UK time, all the way from Jamaica. And fantastic show. I look forward to that. Make sure you tune in with Jenny this Sunday night, 4 p.m. 4 p.m. Jamaica time, 4 p.m. US time, 9 p.m. UK time. Yep. Morning. So James, what do you say? Black Health Matters Morning Walk. Exactly. Great show. Awesome job. Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure and you know what you got to do. Remember, like and subscribe to the Sylbourne Show. Email us at info@sylbourne.com. If you want to come on the show, let's just do this thing big. If you want to come on the show, email me. If you got something you got to say, I love to listen. I find my great passion is listening. Facebook, Sylbourne TV, telephone number is there. Instagram at Sylbourne TV. Let's just go crazy. Let's just go big. The website, which is always there. Fantastic. James Samuels, Tracy, Lorna, Nordia, Doreen, persons on Instagram and Facebook as well. FB comes. Donovan Plunkett, straight out of Ochi. Leicester straight. Well done for the great work you guys did as well. I tell you guys, some guys came on the show and they did a promotion for some schools, a school in St. Thomas, a school to get some tablet, and it was fantastic. They beat the target, of course. Sylbourne Show system, and fantastic. Those children will get some tablets for Christmas or for next year. We just want to make sure that not the government don't rip them up, but make sure they get a good deal. Make sure they get a good deal. All right. Great show. Thank you, Tracy. Peace out. Very lightning program. Good night. Happy holidays, guys, and all the best. And peace out. And I'll just close just with this. Thank you very much. Have a good night. Bye-bye.